Hey besties, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another one of my videos. Today we are doing our February TBR video. It's been a little bit since I've done a monthly TBR because we didn't do one for January, so this is really the first monthly TBR for the year, which is so exciting. As I'm sure you can tell, I am back at my dorm at school for the spring semester, my final undergrad semester, so close. I thought today we'd do the TBR jar, letting it pick my reads for my TBR, or more so the prompts for me to choose my reads, if that makes sense. I don't remember any of the prompts that I put in here, to be honest. Like, I know there's a few genre ones and color ones, but then there's a lot of other ones, and I don't remember anything. I think there's like 40 or something prompts in here. I don't exactly remember, but I think we're gonna do maybe 6. I feel like 6 is a pretty attainable number, and then I have like every month I have a pick for my best friend and I's book club, so that'll make it like 7. So I think we'll do 6 out of the TBR jar, and then whatever that ends up being, which I don't actually know what it is. So you probably won't find out until the end of February, but that's okay. Okay, let's go into the first book. Something that has an adaptation. I don't really know too much of what has an adaptation. Okay, so I figured out that I actually do have something that has an adaptation, and I did know that it had an adaptation because it's on the front of the book, and that is Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. Honestly, I probably won't watch the adaptation, but this has been adapted into a 6-episode Netflix series. I haven't had this one too long. I've only had it like I think like a month, but I've been really, really intrigued to read it and get into Frederick Bachman's work. I know a few other YouTubers have really been picking up some of his stuff recently, and I'm really intrigued to read this one because I've heard nothing but good things about this one and Beartown in particular. But the plot of this seemed really interesting to me, and it's also just a singular book. It's, I think, just over 300 pages, so it's not too long either. So I think that'll be a nice addition to the TBR, especially because I've been wanting to read it for a long time now. Okay, let's go in for the second prompt. I have to do a blind pick. Okay, I need to figure out how I'm going to do a blind pick. Okay, I think I'm going to, on my bookshelf, just like wave my hand around with my eyes closed and then point to something, and whatever my finger lands on, that's the book we're going with. I kind of roughly know where things are, but I don't know exactly, so this is as close to a blind pick as it's going to get. Okay, this actually worked out well because it's continuing a series that I did start in January, and you kind of just saw the book. I actually started this series on the like trip back up here to school, and I really enjoyed the first book. I read it in like 2 sittings, really fast paced. It's a romance series, and that is the Kings of Sin series by Anna Huang. This is the second book, King of Pride. The first one's King of Wrath, and I really enjoyed that. I think I gave it like a 4 stars or something. I thought it was really good. I've always enjoyed the whole CEO billionaire romance thing, so I'm excited to go into this one because you meet both the characters in the first book, so I think that'll be fun. So I think we'll put this on the TBR. That'll be a fun one. Now let's go in the third book, The Halfway Point. A 5-word title, a long title. Now I definitely have some that are 5-word titles that I can't read yet because there's other books in the series I have to read. So this might take a hot second. Okay, this wasn't actually as hard as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be more difficult. I have chosen another romance book that is also a second book in a series and is basically allowing me to continue a series and not start more series because that's a big problem of mine. And that is The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore by Laurie Gilmore. It is a 5-word title. This is the second book in the Dream Harbor series. In this one, you're following Hazel and Noah. Hazel owns the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. Noah is a fisherman, and I think the plot of this is there's like a scavenger hunt in the bookstore that happens, and I don't know too much about the actual plot, but I really enjoyed being in Dream Harbor and Laurie Gilmore's writing and how fast-paced and easy it is to read, so I'm excited to continue this for just a fun, easy romance read. Okay, it's time for book 4. I'm trying to like really shuffle these up, and maybe we'll pick a fantasy book this next time. About Travel. See, you could pick up like most fantasy books with this, because if you're traveling like across the world of the fantasy book, then like that counts as travel. But let's try to actually like make it like a quest or something. See, this is kind of hard when you don't actually know like a lot of the plots of the book, because you're just going to kind of assume that it has some travel element in it and go with that without actually knowing if it does. Okay, I went with something that is like based around a vacation, and it's another romance book, which I'm kind of surprised I'm picking another romance book because I've primarily been reading fantasy just because it's the colder months and it's a fantasy-esque time. But the book I chose for about travel is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. The only two Emily Henry books that I have not read is People We Meet on Vacation and Book Lovers, and I do plan on reading them this year to where I am up to date on her current log of books. I'm going to go with this as about travel because they go on a vacation. So you're traveling to your vacation spot, and think that counts. So we're going to make it count. It's my channel. We're going to make it count. This counts. Oh, there's 10 summer trips. Okay, 10 moments of travel. I think that counts. I think this suits the prompt well. This is a summary book, and it is only going to be February. So this might not get read, but maybe I'll get like a wild whim, because Emily Henry books, while they are set in like typically summertime, there's not as much emphasis placed on the beachy summer aspect of them instead of the actual like plot and relationship development and things like that. So this might still work out well, but we're going to put it on the TBR. Right now I have 1 fiction and 3 romance. So this is interesting. This is a very different TBR. Okay, let's go in for book 5. Number in the title. Okay, I'm really gonna have to look because I need to see if I actually have anything with a number in a title. So the answer to whether I actually have books is yes. Not very many books, but I do have some. We're sticking with the romance streak because the book I've chosen for a number in the title prompt is Saving Six by Chloe Walsh. This is the 3rd book in the Boys of Tommen series, and it's the first Joey and Aoife book. I read Binding 13 and Keeping 13 around the mid-year point last year, and I wanted to take a little bit of time before jumping into Saving Six and Redeeming Six because they do have a lot of timeline overlap. So I didn't want to read those and immediately jump into this. But I think enough time has passed and some of my knowledge of what happened has left. So I think it's time to finally jump into Saving Six and Redeeming Six. So I'm going to put Saving Six on the TBR for the month. Another romance. I don't even read this much romance in a month unless it's like a summary month. So we'll see what happens. I was going to say most of them aren't summary books, but I do know the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore is set during the summertime, and then People We Made on Vacation is a summary book. We'll see what happens because we're only going to February. Okay, let's choose the final book for my TBR. I'm really hoping I can make this one like a fantasy book because I would like a fantasy on my TBR. Author you love. Okay, I can make this. I can make this a fantasy book. I just got to choose something I like. Is this finally going to be the month I actually continue the Throne of Glass series? Because that would be a feat in itself. I might actually do that. Okay, I think we're going to do it. I'm going to put Queen of Shadows on the TBR again. I know. But I have been more in the mood to read this and pick it up again and continue the series because I just read Onyx Storm and had my heart ripped out with everyone else. And it's put me back in this like complex world, high stake fantasy romance that I know the Throne of Glass series gives me. So I'm definitely reaching more towards this. And I've been wanting to pick it up for a few days now. So maybe this month will be finally the month I like actually read this. And then I can move on to the tandem read, which is a lot of paper, a lot of pages, a lot of book to read. But that's okay. Okay, so this is actually fun having the amount of like romance switch up that I have on here because usually when I make a TBR, it's 50% or more fantasy. So I think it's going to be fun having like a primarily romance TBR, 1 fiction, 1 fantasy. I like to really mood read my fantasy, so I think it will actually be better for me because then I won't be trying to like check off boxes. But I think this is gonna be my February TBR, and then whatever my best friend and I's book club pick is gonna be. I think we briefly talked about doing Deep End by Ali Hazelwood, but then we talked about maybe switching it. So I need to talk to her and we'll figure that out. And you guys might find out in my bookish video, you might find out at the end of the month. We'll see what happens. But let me go through the books one more time. We have Anxious People by Frederick Bachman, King of Pride by Anna Huang, The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore by Laurie Gilmore, People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry, Saving Six by Chloe Walsh, and Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. But I think that is going to be all for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed getting back into the monthly TBR. This is the first monthly TBR of the year, and so I'm excited to continue. Let me know if you want to see me choose my monthly TBR in other ways. I could do a number generator, a genre generator, ask someone else to pick my TBR. You know, we can mix it up. We can come up with some different ways to do it. Let me know if you guys have read any of these books, if you're interested in any of these books, what you thought of them, what you're thinking about them. Just give me your thoughts. What are you excited to see me read? I do have a few video ideas for the month of February. Some of this may get read in those. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to make any promises, but I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff you guys know how to do, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.